dime, a ver, poner dinero, es ver cuánto nos cuesta, ¿vale? En vuestro caso, lo interesante es poner números. ¿Por qué números? ¿Por qué presupuestar? Eso es lo que estamos haciendo todo el rato, pero ¿por qué? Al final hablo de todo eso está muy bien. Les digo, venga, al final por ponerle números. Al final lo que estamos haciendo es intentar saber lo que vamos a poder hacer y cómo lo vamos a poder. Y al final os digo, venga, intentar ponerle números. Olvidaros del dinero, números. Lo sé, lo sé, pero todavía estamos en el marco teórico, ¿vale? Entonces, al final os digo, el último paso, el último de la planificación es poner números. Si venimos a mi campo, mi formación, estaríamos hablando de dinero, pero aquí yo os digo, no hablemos de dinero, que también, ¿eh? Pongamos números. Por ejemplo, tiempo de ejecución. ¿Por qué números? ¿No? Aparte de más, hay más. ¿Por qué números, Enrique? Porque la última fase del proceso de planificación os pongo que hay que poner números. En este caso he dicho poner un presupuesto, poner dinero, nos va a costar hacer ese proyecto. Y en vuestro caso yo no pongáis, no hables de dinero, hablar de números. No. Eh, Estoy pensando en vuestro trabajo de proyecto. La vida real probablemente sí. Pero no pienso si a lo mejor la empresa ya está funcionando. Sí, sí. Me he explicado mal. Sí, Enrique. Me he explicado mal. Vuelvo a explicar. Cierto. No es que sea más fácil de justificar, ¿no? También, en el punto G, por supuesto, todo el desarrollo de la planificación es propuesto en la última parte de la planificación, en el apartado G, pues, desarrollar un presupuesto. En este caso, específico, dinero. Que me equivoco, tenía que haber puesto números. ¿Vale? Si nos circunscribimos a el ejercicio que estáis haciendo en la otra asignatura, estoy hablando de que la última fase del ejercicio de planificación es introducir un lenguaje muy simple que conocemos todos. Y no es que sea más fácil de justificar que también. Es un lenguaje comprensible. Porque en el establecimiento de objetivos yo pongo un párrafo de 20 líneas. Eso tiende a interpretación, suponiendo que alguien se lo lea. Pero si yo pongo todo el proceso de planificación, al final pongo unos baremos, pongo unos elementos, pongo el lenguaje del número, yo sé que si tengo que desarrollar esta actividad en músculos, yo sé lo que son 2 días, o son 3. Y sé que si necesito 50 euros para comprar o 100 euros para comprar un elemento, sé lo que significa, sé lo que significa. ¿Vale? Entonces la introducción del lenguaje sencillo, comprensible por todos los miembros de la organización del grupo y que nos obliga y que nos compromete a todos, a todos. Hablemos de dinero, hablemos de tiempo, hablemos de medidas, lo que queráis. Para este caso va a ser interesante, porque vais a desmenuzar, vais a explicar el proyecto en diferentes partes. Teóricamente ya lo habéis hecho, ¿cierto? ¿Vale? Entonces, este proceso tiene ventajas y desventajas. Ventajas: facilita la coordinación. Es un trabajo que tenemos que hacer entre todos, con un peso específico de que desarrolle la tarea de vida. ¿Vale? Nos obliga a todos a pensar en el desarrollo del proyecto. Para ello, conseguimos una reducción de la certidumbre a la que nos vemos abocados en el desempeño de cualquier proyecto. Vamos a eliminar la existencia de acciones y actividades redundantes y, por consiguiente, vamos a reducir a la misma expresión las ineficiencias. Es decir, que 2 personas o 3 personas estén desarrollando al mismo tiempo la misma tarea, ¿cierto? Y finalmente, mediante la introducción de números, vamos a introducir un estándar simple y sencillo para la introducción de mecanismos de control. Las desventajas: es un trabajo que tiende a infinito. Bueno, entonces solemos perder mucho tiempo gastar muchos recursos en el desempeño de la planificación, ¿vale? Tiende a generar rigidez en el sistema, cuando lo que nosotros necesitamos es flexibilidad. Tiende a ser un proceso muy dificultoso en entornos turbulentos, en entornos externos turbulentos, y tiende a eliminar la iniciativa por parte de la ¿vale? Volveremos a este tema. Para cuando introduzcamos el tema de los programas, volveremos. ¿Vale? Vamos a concretar un pelín. Decidme si estáis de acuerdo con esta slide. ¿Estamos de acuerdo o no? Sí. Estamos de acuerdo en que el desarrollo tecnológico, los procesos y procedimientos de trabajo, me da unas herramientas muy potentes, más o menos sencillas, para resolver de forma individual los retos a los que me veo enfrentado en mi vida profesional. En este caso vosotros en vuestra vida académica. Ahora bien, al igual que el desempeño tecnológico implica todas estas capacidades, no es menos cierto que cada vez más es necesaria la colaboración de un grupo de personas para la consecución de los objetivos. Es decir, por un lado la vida nos tira al individualismo y por otro lado cada vez es más necesaria la colaboración entre ciertos individuos para la consecución de para llegar a la consecución de los objetivos a los que me sería prácticamente imposible llegar por mis propios medios. ¿Vale? Esta dicotomía, esta tensión, nos genera una complicación en la forma de actuar. ¿Por qué? Porque tendemos al individualismo. Yo he puesto varias definiciones de lo que es el trabajo. Para mí la que me gusta es la de Smith. Un número de personas, un pequeño grupo de personas con características complementarias, con un objetivo común, que comparten responsabilidades. ¿Cuál os gusta más? ¿Cuál es más razonable? A ver, todas lo son, ¿vale? Pero dentro, ¿a qué te refieres, Enrique? cierto, pero también hay competitividad entre grupos. Vale, pero obvias una cosa, Enrique. Dentro del grupo, ¿qué pasa? ¿O qué debería pasar? Dices, se reduce la capacidad de trabajar en equipo, incluso dentro. Sí, pero estás obviando un elemento importante. Tanto en la organización, en cualquier organización, como en cualquier grupo, un subgrupo. Fíjate, he hablado de la dicotomía que se da de la tensión. ¿Qué le exigen a las empresas a los trabajadores hoy en día? Mucha especialización, ¿cierto? Tú tienes que ser un experto en un área de trabajo, ¿vale? Pero el desempeño de la empresa implica la necesidad de cooperación entre diferentes áreas, diferentes funciones, diferentes conocimientos. Lo que decimos la aparición de grupos transversales. Lo cual se me empuja, por un lado, a ser un experto en un área temática determinada, pero por otro lado, se me empuja también a colaborar con otros individuos que son expertos en otras áreas. ¿Vale? Y ahí radica es igual en cualquier grupo. En cualquier grupo. Dentro de tu grupo de trabajo va a haber profesionales de lo mismo. Área temática la tuya. Prefiero a que es una, como una tensión. Por un lado me dicen que vaya para un sitio y por otro tengo que ir para otro. ¿Vale? Por eso os digo que me da en definición un número reducido de personas que trabajan en conjunto con características complementarias, con un propósito eh, común, con un objetivo común y compartir responsabilidades. ¿Vale? En vuestro caso, en el de proyectos, la definición más adecuada sería la última, la de requerimiento. ¿Cierto? Pregunto. Pero esto tiene un problema. Realmente es trabajar en equipo. Lo que dice el requerimiento. o es un grupo de trabajo, un equipo de trabajo, conceptos diferentes, ¿vale? Bien, esto me acabo de dar cuenta antes de empezar que he repetido. Bueno, una cosa es trabajo en equipo y otra cosa es el equipo de trabajo, ¿vale? Aquí sí que lo he puesto bien. Tradicionalmente lo que nos encontramos es un equipo de trabajo. Y un equipo de trabajo significa un grupo de individuos con unas características especiales, las que sean, eh, que se juntan para desarrollar un proyecto. Cuando el trabajo en equipo es otra cosa. El trabajo en equipo implica coordinación, implica procedimientos, implica procesos, técnicas, estrategias, tácticas para la consecución de los objetivos preestablecidos. Y el grupo de trabajo lo único que implica es la agrupación de individuos competentes en un área que se complementan para la consecución, que funcionan, que desarrollan sus actuaciones, sus funciones, única y exclusivamente para la consecución de un objetivo preestablecido. Punto. No hay normas, no hay procedimientos, no hay decisiones estratégicas, no hay decisiones tácticas, ¿vale? No hay coordinación. Cada uno hace su trabajo, entrega su parte y punto. Ahora ya os pregunto, ¿en cuál de las dos definiciones os podéis identificar? Hay dos programas. Programas. Ahora veremos. Que sí que los hay, que los hay. Igual. El programa de cada no es importante. En trabajos más simples. Más que cortos, también cortos y simples. ¿Cierto? Eso es cierto. Algo muy sencillo de corta pega, no es cierto. Pero que se da una integración armónica en las funciones, en las actividades desarrolladas por cada individuo. responsabilidades están compartidas. Efectivamente hay coordinación. Hasta cierto punto. ¿Cómo hasta cierto punto? Has hablado del Excel. Vale. ¿El proceso que utilizáis? ¿Que es antiguo? Pregunto. Diagrama de Gantt. Tengo más antiguo todavía. Un PER. Me explico. Tú dices, utilizaremos un Excel. Conjunto. Vale. Es decir, yo te estoy hablando de cosas más antiguas, más rudimentarias. ¿Sabes? Incluso ahora estaba pensando en una cosa que se hacía en papel. Yo, bueno, hacía ya. Bueno, al principio, características del trabajo. Integración de todas las armónicas de unas actividades. A desempeñar, a desarrollar de todas las funciones por el conjunto de individuos que forman parte. Descentralizar el conjunto de responsabilidades. Todos sois responsables de algo dentro del grupo. No solo el líder, no solo el jefe. El jefe es el que coordinará. Y en su caso no. En muchos casos también desarrollará cierta parte del proyecto. ¿Vale? Y finalmente se desarrollará un programa para la consecución de los objetivos preestablecidos. ¿No? Y ahora vuelvo para atrás. ¿No? Esto ya el viernes lo hablaremos. Yo sí me voy a centrar en ahora, ¿vale? En el establecimiento de programas dentro de la empresa. No, pero bueno, no me es igual. ¿Vale? Tenemos software para desarrollar esto. Nosotros lo hacemos a veces en papel y lápiz. Es como aprendimos. ¿vale? ¿Qué es un programa? Un programa es desmenuzar en pequeños objetivos, en pequeñas actividades, todo el proceso a desarrollar para la consecución de los objetivos finales, globales, ¿vale? Es decir, estratificar. El establecer el objetivo final a corto, medio o largo plazo hay que, como el ciclismo, etapa a etapa. Pues los programas son etapa a etapa, establecer diferentes etapas. La consecución de cada etapa nos llevará de una forma más sencilla, más fácil a la consecución de la etapa del objetivo final, del objetivo grande, que es la presentación del proyecto, con unas condiciones más o menos determinadas. ¿Vale? Para establecer los programas vamos a tener en cuenta ciertos elementos. Sintetizando los recursos productivos de los que disponemos, los métodos productivos que existen para ejecutar el plan en su conjunto y para la consecución de esos objetivos intermedios que nos estamos imponiendo nosotros. Tercer, cuarto lugar, determinar las necesidades de tiempo y de dinero en el desempeño de las actividades para la consecución de los programas. Es decir, sabemos que el objetivo final es ganar el tour, pero desmenucemos ese objetivo. A ver, para llegar al objetivo final, lo que voy a hacer es desmenuzar el proyecto en tareas. Voy a reducir el proyecto a la mínima expresión, ¿vale? Entonces, para el desempeño de cada tarea, de cada actividad, voy a necesitar unos recursos productivos, los métodos, unos planes, unos requerimientos diarios de tiempo y de dinero, ¿vale? Entonces lo que voy a hacer es poner esos subobjetivos de una forma sencilla. Y sencillo significa ponerlo en un lenguaje conocido por todos, que conocemos. Si desmenuzo el conjunto de tareas que tengo que desarrollar para la consecución del producto final, del objetivo final, muy bien. Tengo un plazo de tiempo para la consecución del objetivo final, desmenucemos el conjunto de actividades para desarrollar y acortemos plazos. Para subir el primer escalón necesito tantos días, tantas horas, la implicación de tantas actividades por parte del desempeño de tantos actores. Es decir, lo que estoy haciendo es concretar. ¿Vale? Lo que busco es la eficiencia. ¿Os acordáis del ejemplo que os di de eficiencia y eficacia? Pues eficiencia. No es lo mismo el grupo que son 4 individuos que el grupo que son 5. Los recursos son diferentes. Las exigencias pueden ser las mismas. Entonces hay un grupo que juega con ventaja. Dos, ¿vale? Entonces lo que tengo que hacer es desmenuzar el objetivo final que tenéis vosotros en la presentación del proyecto. ¿Cuántas actividades implican, son necesarias para llevar a cabo ese proyecto? Ya sabéis, ¿cuántas? Entonces lo que voy a hacer es desempeñar un programa en las siguientes fases. Desmenuzo la actividad o el proyecto en actividades o la actividad en etapas. Y la consecución de cada actividad, de cada subetapa, la expreso numéricamente. Divido cada etapa en operaciones y especifico los requerimientos productivos necesarios para la ejecución de estas operaciones. ¿Vale? Jerarquizo las actividades y finalmente introduzco mecanismos de control que van a ir en paralelo a la ejecución del proyecto. Os voy a explicar, ¿vale? El objetivo final es el tour. Tengo etapas. Para el desempeño de esas etapas necesito unos requerimientos productivos. Los tengo a disposición, los pongo encima de la mesa, ¿vale? Y todo lo expreso numéricamente. Y luego establezco una jerarquía. Muy bien. Dentro de esas subetapas hay actividades que se llaman prioritarias. Y hay actividades, hay fases, hay etapas que son secundarias. Es decir, hay una relación de medios afines entre las etapas, entre las operaciones. Las etapas, las operaciones, las actividades prioritarias implican que hasta que no finalice una de esas operaciones, una de esas actividades, la siguiente no puede. ¿De acuerdo? Las operaciones secundarias implican que no hay ninguna relación afín con otras actividades. Es decir, las puedo hacer en paralelo con otras. Esto me va a llevar a la aparición de lo que se llama un camino crítico. Es decir, desmenuzo el proyecto en diferentes actividades, ¿vale? Y determino todas aquellas actividades prioritarias que me van a determinar la duración del proyecto. En tanto en cuanto, si yo tengo un tiempo limitado para el desempeño de ese proyecto, la duración de esas actividades se tiene que ver adecuada a esa limitación de tiempo. ¿Eso qué significa? Pues que probablemente en el desempeño de ciertas actividades críticas debo aportar más recursos. Es decir, debemos estar trabajando todos a la vez, o casi todos. Trabajamos casi todos y dejamos a un miembro del grupo trabajando en la actividad de orden secundario que no me va a poner una situación crítica a la duración. No sé si me estoy explicando bien. ¿Lo entendéis? ¿Lo entendéis? Sí. Vale, entonces, estas programas tienen una serie de ventajas y desventajas que hablaremos el viernes. Bueno, hasta aquí todo muy sencillo, muy teórico. Entonces nos decimos qué características debería tener eh, ¿Habéis perdido la conexión? Sí. No sé qué ha pasado. ¿Estáis todos? No. Bueno, sigo. Eh, ¿Qué habilidades y características tenemos que tener todos para trabajar? Pues podríamos resumir las habilidades en estas 5. Coordinación, comunicación, confianza, complementariedad y compromiso. ¿Vale? Son elementos que debemos asumir de forma individual y transmitirlas al grupo, todos y cada uno de nosotros. ¿Qué es complementariedad? A nivel profesional es que cada uno se hace responsable de su área de competencia. A nivel de que estáis actuando vosotros, cada uno se hace responsable de un área de desarrollo del proyecto. Si es posible. ¿Qué debería ser posible? Cada uno, como si fuera un experto, se hace responsable del desarrollo, del correcto desarrollo de un área del proyecto. Para ello será necesario el desempeño de habilidades de coordinación. Me explico. Habrá un coordinador, un líder, que será encargado de coordinar las actividades de todos y cada uno de los eh, miembros del grupo. ¿Vale? Pero luego, en la medida de mis posibilidades, yo como responsable de un área seré responsable de la coordinación de ese área. Si estoy yo solo con que coordino conmigo mismo, si necesito la actividad de otros individuos, pues nos coordinamos. En paralelo, pues también. Para ello es fundamental la comunicación. En este caso también la libertad de expresión. La capacidad de poder hablar libremente y expresar nuestras opiniones, no personales, sino profesionales. ¿Vale? Eh, una comunicación abierta y transparente para la mejora del proceso productivo. ¿Vale? El cuarto lugar es la confianza. ¿Confianza en qué? Pues confianza en el último elemento, en el compromiso. Compromiso en que cada uno va a hacerse responsable de sus actividades y que por medio de la comunicación y la coordinación estaremos atentos al desempeño del conjunto de las actividades. Si logramos el desempeño de estas habilidades, la actuación del grupo será la adecuada. ¿Vale? Es complicado. ¿Por qué es complicado? ¿Por qué es complicado? Y por otra cuestión, la diferencia entre el trabajo en equipo y los grupos de trabajo es la cohesión. ¿Vale? Dentro de nuestras dificultades, de nuestras habilidades sociales, la cohesión es un elemento fundamental, no solo social, sino profesional. ¿Vale? ¿Y cómo se consigue esto? Mediante la implementación de normas, leyes que rijan el desempeño del grupo. Entonces, habitualmente estas normas vienen determinadas por el elemento que crea el grupo de trabajo, el equipo de trabajo. Es decir, son impuestas por un superior. ¿Y cómo son impuestas? ¿Cómo son impuestas? Pues son impuestas a través de la delegación del poder al líder. Cuidado que hablamos de poder, no de autoridad. Y este es uno de los problemas que tenéis en la gestión de vuestros equipos de trabajo. La autoridad la otorgamos las personas que estamos por debajo del jefe. Y se la damos porque consideramos que es una persona que profesionalmente es competente, porque lo ha demostrado. ¿Vale? El poder es algo que ostentan las personas que tienen una posición determinada dentro de la empresa. Y ese poder viene determinado por las capacidades que tienen de penalizarnos en nuestras actuaciones. ¿Vale? Habitualmente, el jefe de equipo tiene poder, lo ideal es que tenga poder y autoridad. ¿Vale? En este caso, en los equipos que vosotros formáis, ¿quién es el líder? El que sufre, ¿cierto? Y entonces tiene un problema, y es que no tiene poder y a lo mejor no tiene autoridad. Es un uno entre iguales. Y eso es complicado. ¿Vale? Porque, quieras que no, en el establecimiento de unas normas de funcionamiento interno, tiene que haber una capacidad de, en último lugar, tomar una decisión. Ya no hablo de penalizaciones, ¿no? ¿Vale? Entonces, ahí nos encontramos con un problema. ¿Cómo lo solucionamos? En comunicación. Hay que ser empático, hay que saber, hay que aprender a escuchar a los demás y ser hábil en la transferencia de la comunicación entre los miembros del equipo. ¿Vale? Esa habilidad que se aprende nos va a permitir la consecución de objetivos compartidos. ¿Vale? Y luego hay que dar una grado de cierto grado de independencia y un muy alto grado de interdependencia. ¿Vale? Que es, pues, ser conscientes de que esto es un trabajo de todos y que el triunfo viene dado por el desempeño de todos, por la actuación de todos. Entonces aquí nos entraríamos en la conceptualización de quién es el líder, que hay no voy a entrar. ¿Vale? Nos hablan una serie de competencias, de habilidades, de responsabilidad, ahí no voy a entrar. También me gusta esta definición del rol de líder, ¿vale? Que el líder es cuando el buen líder es el que existe, pero apenas se ve, ¿vale? Y esta es la teoría. Vamos a la práctica. ¿Qué problema tenemos habitualmente en el trabajo en equipo? ¿Qué problema tenéis? Que siempre es el mismo. Siempre me explicáis el mismo. ¿Cuál tenéis? Porque hasta ahora os he explicado la teoría, que es muy sencilla, ¿cierto? ¿Estáis de acuerdo con la teoría? Sí. ¿Por qué no será? Bueno, porque a medias, Enrique. ¿Por qué? Adrián, ¿por qué? No sé si lo he puesto. ¿Dónde lo he puesto? Mm, ¿Dónde está? Es un poco carcas, ¿eh? No sé si lo he puesto, ahora no lo veo. No sé, no lo puse. No lo encuentro. Sois un poco carcas, ¿eh? Política del palo. Eh, El líder tiene que trabajar en el proyecto, o solo mandar. Pregunto. Eh, no, tiene que trabajar. Y Adrián pone para mí el que más. Vale, estoy de acuerdo. Mm, un problema de tiempo, de disponibilidad. Cierto, cierto. Pero bueno, se te exige, por eso se te va a pagar. Probablemente, pero aparte estoy hablando de desempeñar, por ejemplo, en vuestro grupo de trabajo, desempeñar una serie de actividades. Me refiero a desempeñar actividades como cualquier otra. ¿Vale? Quizás, si lo pensáis, y hacemos el trabajo previo de planificación, porque por lo que veo que estáis diciendo, pensáis más en el tema de control. Coger el teléfono, coger el WhatsApp de oye, entrégame esta actividad que no me has hecho. Me parece que es por donde van los tiros. ¿Me equivoco? Por eso se llaman cargas. ¿Iba por ahí vuestros comentarios? Pregunto. ¿Vale? En vuestro equipo de trabajo se da una característica y es que es una formación externa, que no es como en cualquier equipo de trabajo de como bueno Enrique. ¿Por qué no? No, claro. A ver, suponiendo que el producto final sea correcto. Pero si no hay una buena armonía, si no hay un buen liderazgo en el proyecto, las probabilidades de que no salga un buen proyecto son muy elevadas. Pero también cobra más, si lo miras desde ese punto de vista, ¿no? ¿vale? Puede haber grupos, equipos en que el líder no trabaje, que solo se dedique a dirigir, que es coordinar, que es organizar, que es planificar, que es controlar. Pero hay otros grupos de trabajo, otros equipos de trabajo que sí, que aparte de hacer todas esas tareas, también desarrolla trabajo de machaca. En vuestro caso, en los grupos que vosotros utilizáis, hacéis en proyectos, el líder es un machaca también, ¿o no? Y vosotros tenéis experiencia en trabajar en equipos con buen rollo y con mal rollo. ¿Es lo mismo? ¿Es lo mismo trabajar en equipo con un buen rollo que uno con mal rollo? Y el resultado puede ser igual, puede serlo, pero la probabilidad de que el resultado no sea igual no es la misma. Pues dentro del rol de líder hay unas actuaciones que es planificar, que es organizar, que es dirigir, que es controlar. No son propias del trabajo del machaca. ¿Vale? Y esto lo puedes hacer de muchas formas, evidentemente, porque hay muchas personalidades, por eso no entro en cómo liderar o las características que tiene que tener el líder. Lo siento, no es. No. Pero lo que sí es cierto es que dentro de los grupos, de las características de los grupos en los que estáis vosotros trabajando en estos momentos, el líder no dispone de una de las herramientas fundamentales que tiene cualquier jefe de proyecto, que tanto que es responsable, tiene capacidades de penalización. ¿Vale? ¿Que es importante? No, no es importante, no es fundamental. Pero siempre existe que si hay algún miembro que se columpia, pues le puede llamar la atención. Cuando le llama la atención, si hay unas consecuencias, es una cosa, si no hay ninguna consecuencia, pues es otra. ¿Vale? Y hay equipos en los que el líder tiene esa capacidad, tiene ese poder. Y luego os digo, que hay otros equipos en que el líder tiene autoridad, en que uno de vosotros se puede dirigir un grupo de trabajo porque es un tema muy específico y ese individuo es un experto y todos lo reconocéis. Entonces no necesitará la capacidad de penalizarlo, penalizar a vosotros. ¿Por qué? Porque vosotros le haréis caso tanto cuanto consideréis que en esas actividades él es un tipo, un individuo con muchos conocimientos. Entonces le otorgamos autoridad y cada vez que nos hable le escucharemos. El problema que tienen vuestros equipos de trabajo es que el líder no tiene autoridad, sino que tampoco tiene poder. ¿Vale? Entonces lo único que digo es, pensando en vuestros equipos de trabajo, es que dentro del rol de líder, aparte del desempeño de las actividades propias de una chata, hay una serie de actividades, que es la planificación, que es la organización, que es el romperse el coco para que el proyecto llegue al final, que es el estar encima de la gente, que son actividades que son complicadas. Y por eso os digo que dentro de las múltiples definiciones de el líder que hay, a mí me gusta esto. ¿Por qué? Porque cuando tú hablamos del rol de líder de un individuo y llegamos a la finalización del proyecto y una finalización correcta, adecuada, si tiene poder, ¿qué poder tiene? Sí. Las consecuencias. Y las consecuencias que tengo yo si no lo hago, si no lo cambio. Entonces, efectivamente, no tiene poder. ¿Vale? Ese es el problema. Y hay gente que solo tiene interactuaciones en base a la posible penalización. Por eso existe el derecho penal, el derecho civil y todo eso, porque hay unas normas establecidas y hay gente que no las cumple. ¿Vale? Entonces, dentro de los grupos de trabajo que se forman en las empresas, pues siempre hay alguien que detecta el poder, la capacidad de penalización, el código. Yo llego al trabajo y me echen mañana. ¿Vale? Entonces, como no tenemos ese poder, tenemos que focalizar nuestra atención en otra serie de elementos propios del liderazgo, que son la organización, que es la planificación, que es la comunicación, que es la confianza. Y por eso os ponía que la definición que a mí me gustaba era esta, que el líder es aquel que sabemos que está y ya está, ¿vale? Por eso se decía que es el líder es eh, cuando los trabajos fluyen y no somos conscientes. Cuando no somos conscientes de lo que el trabajo se está haciendo es porque él está haciendo o ella está haciendo bien su trabajo, sin necesidad, aunque tenga poder, sin necesidad de aplicarlo. Y en el caso vuestro que no tenéis esa capacidad de penalización, pues utilizar otras herramientas. Aquí el problema es que el líder es un uno entre iguales. Yo soy el líder y entre comillas te puteo a ti, pero el mes que viene tú eres el líder y me puteas a mí. Eso no lo quiero, ¿no? Entonces tenemos que trabajar esas habilidades. Y esas habilidades hay gente que las tiene innatas, es cierto, pero se pueden trabajar. ¿Vale? Intentaremos trabajar una la semana que viene, para que veáis con la dificultad que implica eso viernes, con la dificultad que implica hacerlo online, porque esto lo ideal es hacerlo cara a cara, pero intentaremos hacer a una, si os parece bien. ¿Vale? Focalizar nuestra atención como líderes de equipo en esto, en la cohesión de la comunicación. No sé por qué nos lo he puesto aquí. En la libertad de expresión. Siempre con el ¿vale? Lo probamos el viernes. El viernes haréis la clase vosotros. Ya os aviso. Hasta el viernes.
Hello, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Hello, 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 Victor. Angel, hello. I just saw your message, Angel. Just give me 5 minutes to check my message and mail. So, mm, mm, today I want to start sharing with you a quote from Edgar Distra. It's super important, actually. Probably at this point you are still not fully aware of the meaning of this sentence, but probably in a future you will realize the full potential of the quote. Hi, Nuria. Okay. Okay. Installer. Space. So today it's the last presentation. Amazing. Very good. Uh, Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? All right? Still some people left, so not sure if I should. Can we start? What do you think? Should I start? Should I wait 2 minutes? Okay, I wait. I wait for 2 minutes. Yeah. Okay. Mm. Okay, I think we are most of us ready. So, did you saw my quote, by the way? Did you see today's quote? Okay, just read it read it carefully. It was a quote that I just copy pasted in the chat. Not sure. I can copy paste it again just in case. You know Dijkstra, probably. He is one of the fathers of the computing. Actually, Dijkstra, for your information, was the first programmer in the Netherlands. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? A bit loud. Okay, let me check the volume. What about now? Can you hear me better now? Okay, okay. So yeah, just take note of that quote. It's really important, really. Okay, so let's start with the list. Class assistants: Marc Ariza, Jordi Bach, Tomás Carreras, Guillem, Enrique Guillem, Albert Espinosa, Jordi Espriu, Pau Fiol, no Pau Fiol, Mar Gallardo, Ángel González, Francisco Guerrero, Nuria La Monja, Alex López, Aitor Luque, Adrián Mirabel, Santiago Moliner, Víctor Nisa, Víctor, Pau Pedra, Miquel Quintana, David Rami. Hello, Víctor. Albert Robles, Gerard Romeu, Daniel Ruiz, Marc San José, Òscar Tarrés, Guillem Turmo, Oriol Sabater, Bernat Moreno, and David Gómez. Okay. So, okay, so we got it. Okay, I got some comments. I've been reviewing the projects, and I don't have a mark yet, but you got most of the checkpoints in the list, so probably except the Cujo Studios project, most of it will get a good mark. Hopefully, I have it for the end of today. But I got a bunch of notes about well, several things about the project, about project organization, naming conventions, etc. We'll start with the presentation first. Nuria, are you ready? And after that, I will give you some reviews about your projects. Okay? So you can organize things better for the next assignment. Oh, okay, Nuria, perfect. Nuria. Let me check. Nuria. Okay, Nuria, you can present probably.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Perfect. And wait a second. Let me share my screen.
Wait a second. Okay. Nuria. Uh, yeah, Nuria. Yeah, you can start. Well, if the screen
Okay.
shares or something, because
Yeah, I'm selecting what I need. Okay. Well, there are some things that I will need to change afterwards because I don't have them open. But yeah, most.
okay.
Oh, okay, it starts right away. Well, a second. First of all, I want to advise. I want to say in advance if anything happens, my computer is not the best. It might crash for any reason. It happened the other time, so please bear with me in these cases. But
Okay. Oh, don't worry,
yeah.
Nuria.
Okay. So I'm here to talk about how you can develop an installer for your game or any software. Basically, I'm Nuria. I'm a student just like all of you. Here you can find me in GitHub, LinkedIn, anything. So first of all, I want to talk about how this presentation is going to, or this class is going to go. I will introduce some concepts. For example, I will talk about what color, if you've seen it in game, which probably you will have, you have had. And I will explain what is the approach to this research, like what did I use and how to use it and everything. and then I will talk about how you can go beyond if you want to do something which is more complicated or it's not included in what I use. Then I will teach you how to do it. In this case, I will talk about the to-dos that you have to do in order to accomplish that. And then afterwards, I will skip the show part and save it for later due to the um how do you say it, like screen, so I don't have to change options and anything. I think it's more fluid this way. Then after telling you what you need to do to accomplish building an installer, I will talk about other market options because there are a lot of them, and you should know that maybe what I did for this project is not the best option for you, and that maybe there's a more suitable option that you like more or what. So first of all, what is an installer? I will talk about the definition, some concepts, the purpose, and why deployment is important for the installer. So, can anyone tell me what would be the definition of an installer?
Raise your hands to answer, please.
If you have any ideas, if you have any examples, anything?
Give them 1 minute to
Yeah.
answer. Okay. Please raise your hands better.
don't-
I think it would be easier.
I don't see if anyone has
Enrique?
actually.
Yes, Enrique? Enrique?
Hi.
Yeah, hello. Hello.
Sorry if there's echo.
We cannot hear you well.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now. Yeah.
Okay. I think an installer is an executable that, well, not an executable, program that allows you to, like, it's something you download that doesn't, isn't as heavy as the actual game, so that then when you have it, when you have downloaded it, you can decompress the game on your computer.
Well, basically, that it is. An installer is just to install software programs on your system, and basically what it gets is, yeah, well, Miguel also said it. So you have these main files that have all the information of your game or software or whatever, and the installer is that it uh, creates the shortcuts and creates the file paths and everything, so that you don't have to worry about it. And the main part of this is that it simplifies the process of installing software. So the user will be asked in very easy ways, do you want to do this or do that? And they can choose easily, and they don't have to do everything that would require. So it's a really way to make this simple. And you have to bear in mind that the installer would depend on the operating system of your computer and the program you are installing. And also, you should know that they can come in many different formats. For example, you have a dot exe, a setup exe, which is by legacy executables, or a setup MSI, which is done by the Microsoft Windows installer, which we will talk about it later. Or it can come in .appx, sorry, for Windows Store, usually used with apps. So it's not usually just one file. There are many different files, and it can come in very different formats. And basically, they are used to install programs in your computer. It's really self-explanatory. So what you should you know? There are some requisites before installing software in your computer that you should bear in mind before choosing one or another. So first of all, you have to make sure that your computer meets the system requirements you're attempting to install, because if it doesn't meet them, the program is going to crash, or maybe it won't run, or it will run very badly, like it will end up crashing, it won't even install. So make sure you see that if it requires, and you should also know that there are the minimum requirements and the suggested requirements. So for example, software may ask for 4 GB of RAM, and it suggested that you have 8 GB of RAM. So maybe your computer has 4 GB of RAM, but maybe it runs slowly, or it's not as efficient as it would be with 8. So keep those two in mind, because it's better always to go for the suggested rather than the minimum. Also, it is advisable to read both if you can, if not, either the manual or the README file, but just to know how the executable and the program you're installing works. And it's also advisable to read both, because sometimes the information that it's included in the README file, it's not included in the manual, and the other way around. Also, it is advisable to close or disable any running apps, so it doesn't crash, if there are any incompatibilities, anything like that. And after installing it, you should reboot your computer. It usually prompts you to do so. Sometimes it doesn't, but it is advisable to do so. So what is their purpose? What do you think is the purpose of an installer? We talked about it kind of before, so maybe you have kind of a clue, but there are other things. So what can you tell me about them?
Anyone?
Think about it is easy. What did I say before that made it like, why would you want to install? Why would you want to use an installer? Think about it this way. Why would you want to use an installer instead of you writing down all the locations and you making sure that everything is where it needs to be?
Mark, answer it. Make it easy for the user to use the game or the program.
Exactly. So one of the main things is that it's convenient. Really? Sorry. Actually, so it's just easier to do it with an installer instead of doing it on your own. Like, why wouldn't you use it? Why would you complicate yourself doing it yourself, when you can have a program do it for you, which would make it easier, better, faster? It's just convenient. It's easier, as Max said. Also, it's a marketing tool, so you can use branding in the installer, so that people know you and know how you create and develop things. In the same sense, it allows for trial versions of your product. So you use the installer and you can say, well, here's your trial version. And if they want to renew your subscription, your software, and want to pay for it, it will be easier, and it would just make it more probable that they choose yours, because they have already tried it. They have already ready in their computer for use. It's really kind of a marketing tool as well. Also, it allows for upgrades and patching features. So as well, uninstall and clean up. So for example, you have the maintenance interface that it will ask, well, do you want to add more components? Do you want to upgrade this? Do you want to patch? Do you want to remove some components? Do you want to install? It's really easy. So you just double click again. If you are using MSI, which again, I will talk about it later, you just double click the installer again, and all of these will be shown for you. You don't have to worry about it. You just choose, and it's really easy and simple. Also, digital certificates. They are used to sign and ensure that your file is not hampered, or that like you are a serious vendor, so they can take it seriously. And also, it prevents piracy if you sign your installer. So it's really convenient to have an installer. So why is deployment important for installer? This is missing a word. I did not realize that until now. I don't know why, but yeah, why is important deployment for installers? I'm not going to talk about deployment because our colleague Danny already did his research, which was really interesting, and I uh, once you are doing the installer, I recommend you that you look at it again because maybe you can review things and you can see what I'm talking about easily. But I'm not going to talk about deployment itself. I'm going to talk about why deployment and deployment tools are important for the installer. Basically, they do everything you don't have to do. Like, sorry, that was badly phrased. So they will save you up time and work time. So basically they will do what you don't want to do, and tasks that maybe are very tedious and repetitive and kind of maybe difficult again. So deployment tools, what will provide you for what sorry, I'm kind of nervous, but yeah, deployment tools will provide you with some essentials, like for example they will check themselves if the system is suitable for installation. So remember that before I told you that you should check this. Well, they will do it for you. Also, they will install prerequisites and runtime. Um, they will provide a competent UI, which is must be suitable for the input required of the settings from the users. And they also will allow the installation in silent mode, which is really useful for companies and business. Well, basically, it's for corporate use mostly. And why is it important? Because errors are cumulative, and with deployment you can avoid them. So um, you can avoid bugs, you can avoid crashes. Deployment will check this for you. A discipline approach is needed. So we need to make sure, as said before, that the software won't crash. And this means that you should check every time that your code doesn't crash. And that's what deployment does for you, the same as before. Also, the setup requirements are always changing and growing with the software itself, and uh, maybe the deployment with this part could be made harder because this means that um, they have to keep growing the deployment tasks and the deployment tools. But basically, with all of this, deployment checks that the code works, it doesn't crashes, and it works fine. So you don't have to do it yourself because you know what, you cannot do everything, and that's where deployment goes comes to help. Like it will help you with serious tasks said before, it will help you check the code works, it will help you in many different ways, so you don't have to be uh, aware of everything at all the time. Not aware, but in guard. So like intention if anything crashes. So have you seen it in games? I'm sure you have, because it's present in game shops, in games, in mods. So for example, here you have the Steam game shop. It has, this is for Mac OS. You can see that you can create shortcuts to your game. You can create a menu, start menu shortcut as well. You can see how you have the next and back buttons. You can cancel the installation. You are given many information that you are going to use in order to see if you want to install it or not, and it will make the installation easier. So this is with game shop. In games, of course. So it's the same format. You have the back next cancel button. You have kind of an explanation. It's kind of personalized for the game. So here you have a character of the game. You have the logo, etc. In mods as well, it's the same features. No, sorry, the interface. You have the back, the next. You are asked what files you want to install. everything. So they are usually kind of in the same format. The interfaces may be kind of different, but they are, as you can see, intuitive, and maybe some of them are familiar. So, well, this is the most complicated part, and please, you have to stay with me because I will try to make it as easier as I can, and I will try to make it as short as I can. But this is the theory part, so be aware that it's going to be a lot. So what am I going to talk?
Wait a second, Nuria. Wait, can you move to the previous one?
Yes.
Just no, the next one. Okay, just a second.
This is in plural. I don't know why, but
okay. Yeah, can continue.
so what am I going to talk in this part? I'm going to talk about MCIS. Be aware that here there are a lot of acronyms, so maybe you don't know things right now, but at the end of this section you will understand. So please try to keep up with it because I know you can. We're going to talk about MCI and why use MCI and how does it work and what files are included as well. Then I will show you not fastly, but I will explain why you should sign an application packaging. I will talk about virtual machines and VirtualBox, and then I will introduce you to the main source of the research, which is NSIS and NSIS USSG. As I said, there are a lot of acronyms, but you will understand them at the end, I promise. So what is MSI? It's the installer package file format used by Windows. So it's just the name of the file. MSI stands for Microsoft Windows Installer, but nowadays it's known as Windows Installer. And as said, it's used for installation, storage, and removal of programs. And it's under the freeware license, so it's free. And it's the recommended file to install things in Windows. An alternative is writing it on your own, but it's better to use MCI. So why use MCI? In my case, for example, I had to choose, since this project is really small, it's just to do a research. I'm not building a game that will give me a revenue or anything like that. I had to look for a free resource. So MCI was perfect in this case because as said, it's free. Also, well, in my case and in the university's case, and I'm guessing that most of you, I'm guessing not all of you, but most of you use Windows. Then why don't use the Windows recommended installer? So basically, MCI fulfilled all these requisites, and that's why I chose it. Of course, there are so many other features that made me choose MCI because it's a really reliable and competent software. So, for example, it allows the automatic installation and installation, reinstall, report support. You can add and remove components, and even if your code, your software is already installed, instead of choosing it if instead of showing it the installation interface, it will show the maintenance interface, which leads us to the following point, which is the maintenance interface itself, because it will detect what components of an application are installed, and it will allow the user to add or remove features or reinstall and install components for the game itself or the software. Sorry. In addition, the repair functionality is automatically run every time a shortcut for the application is activated. So it's particularly useful when you have users that maybe clean up the disk space recklessly, and the administration, then the administrator, the administrator can see if there are any problems with the application itself. the following point may be a little bit confusing. Like, insert advertising feature, does it have ads? It doesn't, but it uses something that many advertising uses, which basically advertising allows the an application to appear to be installed, but actually the files are not installed on the system until the application is activated, um, which makes the basically companies can save on fees for the licensing and disk space, and it's not until it is actually required to use the software that you have to pay this or you are using the space. And once you press a shortcut or anything related to the app, then it will start. But previously to that, it won't. In the same way, they use the same feature to, for example, if you like in the same application itself. So, for example, you have a particular feature that it's rarely used, so maybe it's not installed by default, you know. So it's a way to save space in your computer. So how does it work? Well, applications in general use cycles. So you have the installation, maintenance, and the retirement, and all of them can be managed from the same executable. So once you first start installing the executable, you will be shown the installation interface. But then if you double click it again after your software is installed, then the maintenance interface is shown, which will ask you maybe if you want to repair um, your software, maybe if you want to upgrade it, if you have any patches, or if you want to uninstall, which will lead to the retirement, the uninstallation of the software. As you can see, it's really cyclic, but at the same time linear. So it has a start and a cyclic um, way to manage things. So you can, in an easy way, see how to manage the features, the components, everything. Then if you choose to uninstall, then uninstall it. It's really useful. It's really easy to understand. I think it's just that maybe the words or the files that are used are not easy. So that's what I'm going to talk about. MCI file. So basically you have two or three, depends on how you look at it, files in the MCI, which are important, basically. First of all, you have, I mean, the Windows installer technology is divided into two parts of work that they were combined, which include the client side of the installer pack, which is the mci.exec.exe, second one, and a Microsoft software installation, which is MCI file. And basically, the MCI file is, well, the file with this extension is the simple database. It's a file that can be read by Microsoft Windows installer, and it contains the files, the registry, the instructions to the Windows installer. So everything that it's needed to know by your Windows in order to install the uh, application you want to install. But then you have the mci.exec.exe, which is the program uh, that will call the setup. It will use DLL, the MCI DLL, to read the MCI file, and then it will transform the information in order to incorporate the command line options supplied by the setup. So it will be kind of the interface. It will be what you are shown from the MCI file. So basically, as a summary, you are using the mci.exe.exe in order to read the MCI file, so that your your computer with the Windows operating system can install your game. So these two work in collaboration. Then you have other extensions, because of course, usually not only the installation package not only comes with MCI, but it comes with other files, which here you have a list of some of them. So for example, the MCI exe said before will read the MCI, the .mci, and it will use the fourth one, which is an MCP, to transform the information. So all of them have a task to do.
Wait. Sorry, Nuria. Yeah, give me a second, because that's
Yeah.
wow.
If I'm going too fast, or I know this is something kind of difficult and it's very theoretical.
No problem. I mean, I didn't know about all these variants of the MSI. It's quite impressive, actually.
I mean, all of them are needed to do something. For example, the last one, it is used to create patching files. So if you want to use, if you want to patch it, then your MCI execc.exe will use this file. In other cases, they are not used, but
It's
all
our
of them have
engineering.
a task. And I thought it was interesting, at least to show it, but I don't want to talk about in detail of all of them because I am
No,
aware
it's
that.
okay. It's okay, Nuria. No, don't worry. You can continue. It was just
Okay.
to take some notes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should I then?
Yeah.
Wait. So how do you sign an application package? First of all, I want to ask you all a question. What is a digital signature? Have you ever heard of it?
Yes. Anyone in the class? Actually, that's
It's okay.
a
It's okay
really
not to
good
know things.
question.
Like, I did the research, so you didn't have to do it yourself. So if you have any idea, you can try. If you don't have it, like if you don't know it, it's okay not to know things because you're
Familiar
here
or
to
not?
learn. Anyone?
Anyone in class? Do you have some idea what is application signing? What is certificate for your application?
Well then, it
No,
just
not really.
basically it's
Okay.
okay. It's okay. Don't worry. I will talk about it now. So
Yeah,
basically, digital signature is used to verify that uh, authenticity of your digital messages, documents, applications. So uh, basically, signing an application, sorry, uh, basically it's a mathematical scheme. This is the theoretical definition. It's a mathematical scheme based on algorithms to verify the authenticity of these digital messages or documents. So basically, they are used in software distribution and in other fields, of course, but it's key to detect forgery or tampering. So what you're doing is you're saying, yes, I am proving that this is real, and basically this is not a fraud. So that's why they are used to verify the authenticity. That's what digital signature is. You are like signing it to demonstrate that these are true. In the case of Windows, uh, I chose to show you how to sign an application or everything with signtool.exe, which basically is a command line tool that is used in an application package or batch of application with a certificate. It's installed in the bin folder of Microsoft Software Development Kit, also known as SDK. And well, in the web page, which I have shown you, well, you have the link and everything. You have many tutorials. You have an explanation on how to do it, like written down. That it's written down. You have tutorials on how to do it with Visual Studio 2017. You have different YouTube videos. You have many ways to see how to sign an application package. But basically, you will need the certificate. You want to sign your file with. You want to sign in your file with in your computer. Sorry, and you can use it in Visual Studio directly. And there is this line that you just have. It's just one line, and it's sign tool sign slash SHA1 certificate hash, and then you have the MCI file. It's I know that said it out loud, it's just confusing, but you can go to the web page and there it's explained thoroughly. You have different tutorials, you have different ways, and if you have any doubts, you can ask me in another way. But I don't want to spend a lot of time in this part because I want time to do the tools because they are more important afterwards. So, have you ever heard what a virtual machine is? Any ideas? So, for example, what would you think it is? It doesn't have to be correct. It's just what do you think it's, or what do you think it does?
You should know what's a virtual machine, right?
No one had ever. I mean, maybe someone had told us, like swapping, like yeah, basically what Pau Petra said. But no one ever explained it to us in detail. So yeah.
Really? Wow.
Exactly. Like we all knew what it was. Maybe it sounded, or we were
That's
aware that they existed, but no one had ever explained it to us. But as Pau Pedra said,
that's
basically,
computing 101.
yeah. But
Okay.
sometimes there are some things that are expected to us from us to know, but they are always expected from us, but they are never explained. So that's kind of where it lays. You
Okay.
understand?
So go on.
Yeah, so as Pau Pedra said, he was right. It's an emulation of a computer system. So basically, you have an enclosed space in your computer. Yes, exactly what Enric said. So sometimes you have, sorry, no, I got confused. So you have this enclosed space in your computer that from virtual machine that it will save it so you can have this virtual machine and you can uh, test software in a safe way. So that's the main purpose of a virtual machine. You have this secluded space that if anything crashes, if anything goes wrong, it's only in this part. So you don't have to worry about the other parts. There are, of course, different types of virtual machines, but I don't want to spend a lot of time in this part. But basically, bear in mind that it's just exactly the same as a computer system, a physical computer system. It's just that it's not. And so basically, you have different tools to create a virtual machine. In my case, the example that I chose to use is VirtualBox. The full name is Oracle Virtual Machine VirtualBox, but basically it's an free open source compatible with Windows, Mac OS, Linux, Solaris, and Open Solaris. And I thought it was the easiest way. So you have also here a tutorial that I recommend you. As I said, the presentation is also available in the repository if you want to look at it. In the web page, you have screenshots on how to create a virtual machine, a new virtual machine from in VirtualBox. You have screenshots, the steps, um, also tutorials in YouTube, in many other places. So it's there explained as well with the sign tool exit. If you have any doubts, you can ask me at any time. It's okay. But just so you know that I'm not going to explain you now how to create one. But
Actually, virtual machine would be a separate presentation because there is a lot of things to talk about virtual
yeah,
machines.
there are a lot of things, but I mean, all of them were asked before as well in this presentation, but that's why I did the research. Like all of the information about virtual machines and VirtualBox in this case, it's done, it's there. I mean, there was in this other presentation. That's why I also did it. But they have the information if they want, right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So I said, if you will have time after the to-dos, I will teach you how to. But just have in mind that it's already in the web. So I will talk about what I use to generate the scripts that we are going to use for the installer, which I used NCIS and NCIS QSSG. All of them are acronyms. So basically, NCIS stands for Nulsoft Scriptable Install System, and it's a professional open source to create Windows installers. It has many features, but most importantly, it's small and flexible. So at the beginning of this research, I chose to do it with Wix toolset. As I told you, there are many other market options that you can choose from, and I decided to do it with Wix toolset. But then, after knowing about NCIS and knowing about the NCIS quick, sorry, quick setup script generator, that's the full name. And I decided to go with it, but because I said it's really small, it's flexible, it really it has many features. For example, it's really easy and understandable to design. It has one important thing that I think it has to you have to have in mind is that it allows you to compress in LZMA format, which is the most efficient compressor format in the market right now. Um, Once I downloaded it, it was really quick. Like it took seconds to have it in my computer. You can script it yourself. You can use generators. It's really useful, and that's why I ended up going with NSIS. And what's NSIS Quick Setup Script Generator? It's a software that is also provided by NSIS that it's kind of similar to an installer or an application. You don't actually install it in your computer, but it allows you to generate a script to create an installer in a very easy way. Like you just have to fill the blank spaces. You can even leave sometimes spaces blank, like you don't have to put all of the information. And I thought it was a tool that it would make installer really easy to use, and for this case I thought it was the best option. And you have also a guide in the webpage on how to install NSIS and NSIS QSSG with download links and everything if you have any doubt. So can this be improved? Like we've seen that all of them have a lot of features, and so how can we go beyond? How can we make it better even? So of course you can, like you can code your own things in this case. For example, you have custom actions in MSI. So I remind you that this is a Microsoft installer. So basically, with higher rights, you can code your own things. Bear in mind that this can be very risky as well because deployment tools don't usually work well with them and they can make your game crash. But when there are no built-in supports for certain operations or tasks in MCI, you have to implement it yourself, and you can. And that's the thing, you can code it yourself and you can make it work. You don't have to use what you're given, but you can do it yourself. That's how it can be improved. You do it yourself. So how can you do it? As said before, I'm going to explain first of all the to-dos. Afterwards, I'm going to go through the other market options, and then I will show you how to do the to-dos. Okay? So the to-dos, what I will show you. There are previous to-dos that
you go to the
maybe
previous one? Sorry?
what?
Yeah. Can you go go up again to the previous one?
Yes, here.
Okay, yeah, continue.
I mean, it's just to show that there are the exercise and then the solution, which will be me showing you how to do it.
Okay.
So, a summary. There are some previous to-dos that are just, I designed it to make you familiar with what we're going to use. And then there are the to-dos. So, the first two are just to get you familiar with how to do things and how they work. The first one is to create an executable from a zip. The second one is to learn more or less the NCI language. And then I would show you more like how to create your installer and how to personalize it. So the first to do would just be to experiment with NSI. It comes with a functionality where you can create an installer from .zip, and I would like you to try to find it for yourself. It's really easy to find, I promise. That's why this may be kind of open or like with no guidelines, but you just have to install NSIS and then look for it. It's under the compiler options, so but I'm not going to tell you anything else. The solution, of course, are in the webpage, so don't worry about it. For the second previous to do, you will be given a script, an NSI script with errors. You will have to find.
Nuria, could you show us the solutions, please? I think it
Yes,
would be
yes. But
it would be
they
better
are.
for the. I mean, it's a bit difficult in presenting online. It's a bit difficult for us to.
I was going to show them afterwards.
Oh, okay, yeah. But
So I don't know if you can see this page. Can you?
it's a bit small. Can you make it?
Okay. I will make it bigger. Don't worry. I don't know why it didn't go. So as you can see, this is the web page. Well,
Yeah. Okay.
is it better this way?
It's okay. I mean, the solutions to the to-dos.
So here it is. The first one is to create. This is the solution already. So you have. I don't know why they are not shown, which I honestly don't understand.
I don't know.
Yeah. Don't worry. I will show you the screenshots that I took.
No, you can go directly to GitHub. GitHub should show the screenshots.
Uh, I'm sorry. I checked it all yesterday and it worked fine. I don't understand why.
I don't know. Go. No, not. I mean, go back. No, go back. Go to the docs. Yeah, that's it. So here it should be visible, I think.
This is the explanation. Yeah.
That's it.
So here you have them.
Yeah.
Like, this is for the first one. This is the previous to do. So you have the NCIS compiler, and then here you have compile NSI scripts. No, sorry, the second one. The first one is for
Based
the
on
script.
zip file.
So installer based on a zip file. As I said, it was pretty easy. Then you click open. You choose where you want the file to get it from. And once you have it loaded, you can choose the installer name. You can use the interface. In my case, I chose modern because that's the interface that I will be using to generate the other script, like the one for our own game. You have the pad, and you can just, well, I chose as well LZMA. As I said, it's the best one. You have to choose as well the where you want the output exe file, so the executable you want, and then you just generate, and it will be generated automatically. And here you have it. Basically, pretty easy. It was just to make everyone familiar with the NSIS menu and everything, because as you can see, you have example scripts. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yes.
This tool is the NCSQ.
No, it's not. It's not. That I was going to. like this is a free to do. I was going to focus on the actual to dos because this was just to get familiar with um everything. So for example, the second to do was to get just familiar with the NCIA. So you are provided with a script with errors, and you are provided with a web page where they have a summary of the language, and then you can try to find them yourself. And then here, uh, sorry,
Yeah, but I
here,
mean the first to do to generate the game from a zip,
mhm,
the generate installer for a zip. What tool is it using?
NCIS, NCIS,
Directly
it's
the base compiler. I mean
yes,
the base generator. Okay.
yeah, yes. See, I mean, with this one was just to get familiar, as I said. So we are not generating the script to create the installer for our game from that, because there are other things that we need to implement. For example, if we want to add an icon for the game, anything like this option won't allow you to edit the script afterwards. So that's not the option that I chose to use. So that was just to get familiar, because afterwards everyone will need to use NCIS, because we will need to compile NSI scripts
Okay.
to edit. I don't know if that explains it better. I hope it does. It was um we are not generating the installer yet. We're just getting familiar with it. They are called zero
Okay. Don't worry, Nuria. You can
like
continue.
then the to do two was just like um an explanation, like with the I don't know what I don't know why it doesn't work. I don't understand. Okay. Well,
No worry. You should review that.
yes,
Nuria.
I know. I reviewed them all yesterday, but I don't know why now it doesn't work. But okay. So well, here you will have, now you don't have it. It's in GitHub as well, but you have an explanation of what the mistakes are and what should be done instead. So wait a second. It's this one. So um you have, for example, here you have that. Oh, I know. Yeah, this is the one that has mistakes. The solution is in the solution folder, of course. But for example, here you can see that this is not commented, and to comment it, you need the semicolon. So a semicolon should be added here, and many other mistakes that you can find on your own. Then I will talk. Do you mind if I explain it as I told you I was going to? Like, because I will need to use Visual Studio and other tools that I don't know if it will be shown. Well, if not, I will do it differently. Don't worry. Okay. So this
As you wish.
what?
Do it as you wish. No worries. Just do your
Yeah.
presentation as you want.
So basically, now I will teach you how to add an icon to your game, to the executable of your game. Bear in mind that once you run it, you have to know if it's in debug or it's in release, because if you run it in debug, the icon will be in debug mode, in the executable from debug. If you run it from in release mode, it will be in the release executable. And to do so, you will need an icon image. So for this thing, do you see Visual Studio here?
Yeah.
Because yeah, I thought so. To do so, you need the code. I decided to do a Pong game. So to do so, you just need to go to any folder. In my case, I chose tools because it's like a tool to use for something to add. Then you just add, and then new element, and then here you have to find resource. case,
See, we cannot see that
recurso,
window.
because I have it in Spanish, and archivo
Oh,
de
yeah, we
recursos.
cannot see that window.
Ah,
We cannot see that window.
okay. Well, okay, it's okay. So I will show you here. So here you have the steps. It's a bit, maybe it's a bit small. Can you see them correctly?
It's okay. It's okay. I think we can see it.
Okay. So you just have to right click tools or any folder, as I said, add, agregar. In my case, my Visual Studio is in Spanish. And then new element. Afterwards, you have as always, when you add a CPP or a header or any file, you have this. Then you have to go to resource, recurso, and then archivo de recursos, which is an RC. And you change your name to the one you want. I wrote icon. Then you will be shown this kind of new format. Like as you can see, you don't have all the folders. You are shown this. Then you have to right click icon and then add resource. So agregar recurso, which will show you this window. You just have to choose icon and importar. So you are going to choose the icon you want for your game. In my case, I did this one. And then you just have to run it. And you have either in the bug or in the release version, but it's really easy and it will be automatically done. You just have to check the folder and it will be there, I promise. So the first to do, because this was not related to the installer itself, it was 0, that's why. I mean, I chose maybe a complicated nomenclature. I thought it was easier to understand it that way, sorry. So to create the basic script, so NSIS USSG is really intuitive, as said. So basically, you just have to open it and use it. So in
wait a second. Well, Thomas is saying that we cannot see it. One question: when you add the icon,
yes,
is that enough? I mean, the icon is directly automatically assigned
yes,
to the executable.
yes. You just have to run it. You have to run the code in order to add it.
Yeah.
But it's done automatically. You don't have to worry about anything else.
And so our executable will have the right icon.
Yes, exactly. But you have to bear in mind that if you run it in debug, it will be in the executable that it's built from the debug. And if you run it in the list, it will be built from in the executable from the release. So if you run it in debug, it won't be added to your release executable magically. You have to run it in release, but it will be done automatically.
Can we see an example? I mean, do you have an example a working example?
Yeah, I think so. Like it should be in solution, but I don't know if you will be able to see it.
No, I cannot see it. We cannot see it actually.
Let me try.
Just share the screen if possible.
Yeah, but I don't know how to share all my screen. That's the thing.
Yeah, you
I
just
tried to.
just close the stop sharing and share again and choose all the screen and it would you are able to share all the screen. Now
But
if you choose
when I choose where is all the screen, because
you will see a tick when you share screens. Instead of sharing an application, you have the option to share all the screen, I think. Actually, it should be possible, yeah.
I mean, I have the escritorio desktop, but
yeah, that's it.
Only the desktop.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be.
I thought it was.
Yeah, we got it.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like it would only show the desktop. Okay.
No,
okay. So here you have it.
Yeah, we can see.
And I guess it should be here. Not here.
Okay.
It's here. So you can see you have the I don't know if you can see it, but well, let me.
Can you open the program?
Here, well, the image is really small, but you have the image of the
Yeah,
icon in the executable.
program, please.
And once you run it, here at the bottom, you are shown the executable. You have the game. So do this.
Okay, but okay, here there are several things. Wait, no, don't close it yet. Don't close it yet. Note that the icon in the Pong, you see the window title Pong.
Yes.
The icon is not correctly set up there.
Mm.
You see
Yes.
in the window title where it
Yeah,
has
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Pong.
I can
Pong
see
name.
it.
And also in the when you increase the size of the icons in the folder, note that the icon is not resized.
I know, yeah, but this is
It's
just
quite
because
small.
the icon I did it was really small. It's like 16 per 16 pixels. It's really small.
Yeah, yeah, but how you solve that?
I did
Because
not realize
also
that was a problem. That's the thing. So,
the icon you saw in the taskbar, down in the taskbar, you see
mhm.
down, yeah. Well, it seems that it looks good, so you fit the size for that one. But actually, this icon is used in multiple situations. And the right thing to do is to provide an icon file containing multiple standard window sizes.
Mm.
Actually, an icon, it's a package. It's like a zip. It contains the icon in multiple sizes. For Windows, there is a combination of sizes required, and another one for Mac, and another one for, well, for
I will
different
look into it
platforms.
then. Maybe I can add it to the research or something so it
No,
can work properly.
no, don't worry, Nuria. It was just a note for the rest of the students, or well, for you and for the rest of the students, just
Mhm.
to know. Okay. Usually the standard sizes in Windows are 16 by 16, 24, 48, 64, 90, 96, 128. Those are the standard sizes. I mean, you have to provide all those sizes square, all of them,
Mhm.
inside the icon for Windows.
Okay, okay. I will then.
It
I
just
mean, I will try to look into it so I can do it.
wait. There is
If,
a question. There is some questions. Wait a second, Nuria. If it's a bigger icon,
yeah, that's what I thought when I saw it.
Rick, if it's a bigger icon, it could resize. But for example, for the Windows bar, I mean, sorry, for the application title bar, you need a 16 by 16 size. I'm not sure it will resize if the icon is bigger. Didn't icons handle different sizes on the image? Victor is asking. Yes, yes, that's it. Actually, the icon format, it's just a package. Just a package for different kind of image. It packages images in PNG and BMP formats.
Mhm.
Just for you to know. Yeah. Can continue, Nuria.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
nice.
will
It's
try
nice.
to look into it because I mean, I had kind of a short time to do this last part. I mean, this part. So yeah, I
No,
will try to improve it then.
don't worry,
Um,
Nuria. It's nice, really.
then now I will show you how. Well, afterwards, like yeah, this is to generate your. I mean, well, now that it's done this way, I can do it that way. So, and I will show you now how to use NSIS POSSG to create your own script for the installer. Then
Nice.
afterwards, I will do all of them um, at the same time, so don't worry. Um, then I will show you how to add personalization features because one of the things that you can do with this software is that you can personalize many things, like for example the color of the background, or I don't know, there are so many things, and one of the ones that I chose is to add an image to your header of the installer, and you will need a bitmap image, and then I will show you how to add an icon for the executable, so the installer of your game, which is
Okay.
also one of the personalization features. So basically, you just have to go to, you just have to download the package, which can be found in the web page, and you have to decompress it. And here you have the NSIS quick setup script generator. Double click it. You are shown this.
Just one question before continuing. Well, it's just why the installer generation does not come in the form of an installer and instead is just a zip file to download?
I'm not sure, but I think that it's maybe because if it was, since it's like it's, I guess it's kind of a plugin. I don't know if it would be the same, but for the NSIS, you don't need to actually install it in your computer. So you are generating your own script for the installer, so you don't need an installer to do so. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah. Well, actually, it's. I think that it's not. The answer it's not that
What would you
complicated.
think?
It's
That's
just
why.
because it's just such a small program and portable program that it's easier to be distributed as just a zip file instead
Yeah,
of
I mean,
having all the cumbersome mechanism of an installer to install something that small and portable. So
that's
I
true.
mean, sometimes you don't need to have uh, an installer. That's the key. I mean,
Yeah,
sometimes
I
it
mean,
makes
that's
sense,
true.
but sometimes it doesn't make sense to have an installer. That's it.
Yeah, it's completely true. For example, this is something that NSIS generated to create scripts from themselves, but NSIS itself is really small. I
Yeah.
told you, like, it took seconds to install it on my computer, so it makes sense what you just said. So maybe zip file is fine, and you don't have to install it. So yeah, okay.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
okay, that was a question. Yeah, continue, Nuria.
you have the, well, you open it as you say in Twitter. I thought it was really funny, and then here you just have to add the name of your project. For example, this game font. In my case, you can
Okay,
also load
nice.
a previously saved project with an init file, from an init file. So after you use this will generate different files. It will generate an NSI, ini, and a log. So yeah, then you have this. You just press next. You choose the application name, test game phone, for example. Then the company name, needless load, UPC, the version. You have this one. It's 2020. The author.
Wow, it's super easy.
It's super easy. I told you, like, when I saw it, it was then. And you can,
I knew, Nuria. I knew.
okay, sorry. And then you need a listen in a txt file. So you just have to browse through it. 1 second. So here you have, for example, the lesson. You
Yeah.
choose it. And in the compression file, I recommend LSMA. You can also write
YSLMA.
it
YLSMA.
because it's the most efficient one in the market right now. So you have all these other options, but this one actually can compress your file to the
Actually,
um
it's not the most efficient one,
no.
but let me see the options.
I mean, at least from this one, which is ZLib, PZIP2, and LSMA,
Yeah,
LZMA.
I
I think it's
think
the
it
most
should.
efficient.
I imagine it is LSMA2 actually, because it's the second version, because it's more efficient. But yeah. In any
But I
case,
saw in the I mean, I may be wrong. I mean, sometimes of course, information may be misleading, but I thought that it was the best option. That's
Yeah. From the ones you have, it is. From the ones you have, it
okay,
is.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why. And then I also chose to install for all users. And then you just press next. You can choose to allow users to change the directory name. You just have to find the executable. So this is the setup. You have it. Then you just have to add the files. So you have to look through all of them. And you have, please remember to include subdirectories. So if you have any assets inside any folders besides the one you have added, they are added as well. And then you have additional files if you want it, but it's not necessary. Then the start menu, I also pick all of this because I think it's useful to get the user options if they need to change anything to make it better. And then here is where you will generate your setup.
Okay.
So I will leave it like that. And please remember to save, and I will recommend the two opens because we are going to edit it. But save the compiled script so you can continue editing. So you just press generate, save, yes. And as you can see here, you have now the desktop. Well, it's done. Close. You have now here these new items. You have here the generated script.
Nice.
And then in output, you have this file which has the executable and the NSA file. So if you press the executable, you have it here, like it will be like this.
But you don't need the NSI file.
Yes, because I will be editing in order to add the icons and the personalization. That's the thing.
Okay,
So
but
this part is generated with this, and then on your own you have to add the other things, right?
oh, but then you have a separate file for the. Wait.
You
So
will be generating in this process two executables. You have to just uh, save the last one, which
okay,
will be the one which has the icon.
okay.
So you have this. Well, it's an installer, as you can see. I close it. Okay. Now I'm going to show you how to add these files. We'll be adding them here. I will show you. Yeah, here. So you have to include them under the MIUI .nsh, which is what includes the commands that we're going to use to add this. And what you want to do is, first of all, add a header image. Then here you have how it's done. So you first of all have to define the header image.
Okay. Is it not possible to do that directly with the
It's an image,
generator?
so I cannot copy it directly.
I mean, with the generator, it's not possible to choose.
No, it's not. It's not. That's the thing. I looked into it, but you cannot.
What a big limitation! I can't.
I know, but that's how it is.
Yeah.
But it's really useful because it generates all the script, and then you have to add things to personalize it. It's because you can choose what to add. That's the thing. Then
Okay.
we will add the image itself. So here you have, as you can see in the right, you have the icon name, the bitmap name. But if you have it in another folder, you have to add it as well. Like you will have to write the path to it. So
Can you just copy paste from the other side?
no, because it's an image.
Okay.
That's the thing. I would have, but and then um, and then with this last command, what we're doing is we're setting it to the right, so the image will appear in the right. And then to do the following to do, which is the to do number 3, we're going to, I forgot. Sorry, this is tedious, but
Yeah.
I expected to do it with the ones that I had already, the solutions, but so here we are also defining the icon. So this is what it will appear in the executable, like the image it will appear. So now you just have to save it, and then you open
Okay.
NSIS, compile NSI scripts, and then you just have to open and look for it. You choose the NS file, and it doesn't run because it has, that's the thing, it will show you where you have mistakes. It's in line 57, which is here,
Yeah.
but I don't know why. Like, this is the first time that this happened. 1 second.
Is it
Well,
safe?
no, it's
Save the
because it
file.
can load the icon because it probably has the wrong path. 1 second, let me try to fix this.
Okay. Okay.
Now it works. So now you have your script. You can test the installer. And as you can see, you have the image here. If you press next, you have the image here. You have the
Okay.
license. You have also the image of the executable here and everything. So that's, you have to
Is it
follow
possible?
next.
Go back. No, back again. Back. Is it possible to change that image?
Yeah, exactly. It is possible.
Okay.
Here in the web page, let me do in a second. Um, wait, please. I don't know if it was, no, this is not. Well, I thought I had put a link. I know it's here, isn't it? Yeah, here it is. So here you have other personalization things that you can add. So for example, we use MIUI, like modern UI icon, and then you have the file, and then we use a header image, we use the bitmap and everything. So
Okay.
for example, here you can change the background color or text color.
Do you have some example of advanced, the highly customized NCs installers?
I don't have any examples of that. I don't think it was necessary. But for example, you can take the NSI, I can open it, the NSI executable. In my case, since I have already installed it, it will show me the maintenance interface, but you can see that it has here its own image, here as well. The page is all white, as you can see. The image as well, it's the same, as you can see, but it's personalized in the way that they want it. And they also use NCIS. And that's all done in the same way that I did.
Okay.
But just
Nice.
like you can
Okay.
see how it could be improved. As you can see, here is white, here is in a different color, and you can choose to add and reinstall components. This is an example of a maintenance or choose to uninstall NCIS. But yeah. Then lastly, I will show you other options like, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. So what can you do next if you want to continue improving? So what I decided is that if you wanted to continue improving, it would be nice to know other market options. So you can try to implement what you have learned here in other installers. So I will talk about 3 other installers, but bear in mind that there are a lot of options in the market. So yeah. So the Wix toolset, as I told you before, I was going to do it with Wix toolset mainly because it uses XML, which is a language that I am familiar with. But after seeing NSI and how easy it was to generate a script, I chose to do it with NSI. But it also can use the C++, it can use C Sharp. Its target operating system is always Windows, and it's really easy to use overall, and it has many built-in options. It's really easy overall. And you have also a tutorial here if you want to look at it. Yeah. Also, InnoSetup. InnoSetup, it's also really easy to use. It comes with many features. It's also free. It's used always for Windows. It comes with, for example, encrypted and passworded installs. It's multilingual. It has shortcuts. It's really easy to understand as well. Many things. You have also here a tutorial if you want to learn how to use InnoSetup. And then Advanced Installer. I was also going to use Advanced Installer because I
Nuria,
thought it was
excuse me 1 second. Did you give it a try to InnoSetup?
no, because since I was going to do the 3 of them, Wix, Inno, and NSIS, but then since I was getting short on time, and then I had to add this other feature with which was the icon of the game. Like I didn't know I had to do it, but then after talking to you, like you asked me to do it, then I didn't have time. So what I did is I looked at many tutorials, which I thought it was really interesting. And in the web page, what?
Actually, InnoSetup, it's quite similar to NSYS. It's really similar.
Yeah, it's really similar.
Probably even easier in some aspects, actually.
I don't. I thought it was well for me. I thought it was easier NSIS. That's why I chose it instead of stuff.
Personally, I use both. I mean, I use NCs in the past, and it was great. And lately, I use InnoSetup, and it's also great. I think that are the 2 best options in the market for installers. That's it.
Well, both are really easy to use. As you've seen with NSIS, it's really easy. Like you have generators that work for you, and then you have to hard code yourself the personalization features, which are also really easy to use. And
In the time I use it, there was no generator, or I was not aware of the generator, so it was just coding the
actually, I
NSI.
just happened to find it. Like I wasn't even looking for it, and I was looking through the wiki, and I found it, and I was like, wow. And I thought that it would make easier everything.
Yeah, but I used it long time ago, so. Okay, yeah, continue, Nuria.
So yeah, well, as Ramon said, both of them are really easy to use. But I, instead of doing the three of them, since I had to do other things in the end, I just decided to explain only um, NSIS. And then advanced installer, I looked at some tutorials and it was really easy. It had a great support community and a great support system. However, it had all these features, but because it was paid. So it's really easy and powerful to use, and I really recommend it. But for the scope of this project, I don't think it was necessary to pay for it. Also, having so like is light and easy to use installers that are NCIS, for example. But you also have here a tutorial if you want to learn how to use, and it's also there is also a 3-day trial period. So yes, and that's all for it. So thank you for anything. If you have any questions, you can ask me now, or I will go through.
Okay, Nuria, thank you very much. It was a great presentation, actually, very complete with a lot of information and yeah, very accurate. Yeah, it was really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really like it. It was longer than expected. Actually, you
Yeah,
didn't
I
have
I'm
that
sorry, I
much
didn't
time,
expect it to be so long.
but today there was not other presentation, so I let you explain it longer. So yeah, but it was really great. Um, Questions? Anyone? Do you have questions? No questions. Wow. Someone else? Everything was clear for everybody? Uh, Let me check. I got some points, Nuria.
Okay.
Oh, Pau says, I'm good. Angel, Enrique. Wait a
As well,
second.
what I said before, if when you are generating your installer for uh, yes, you have to generate an installer for the gold. So, well, that's what Ramon said. So, if you have any doubts when doing it, you can just ask me and I will gladly help you. I know for me, it was a really difficult research that I was doing for months. So,
Actually, the installer was not a requirement for the gold. Um, but yeah, you
it
can
was
feel.
only the icon of the game then.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, sorry, then I.
That's it. That's it. But well, feel free to use it because actually creating an installer is super useful to distribute your game in a professional way.
Mhm. And as I said, for me, I told you it was a really difficult concept to grasp. Not because an installer itself it's difficult, because it's really easy to use. It's just that all that goes behind it. It was a concept that I don't know. I thought it was really difficult, and so if you have any doubts of anything, if you want when you are adding the icon to your game, or if I can help you with anything, just ask me. That there's no problem. I'm here to help. So yeah.
What it is really required for the final assignment, it's the icon for the executable, and it would be nice that it's a complete icon, not
Yeah, I
only
will
one
look into
size.
it, and maybe I can release a new version for
If
the
you go,
installer.
well, I can share maybe my screen. Just a
Yes.
couple of questions. Wait, Nuria, before
Yeah,
before
sorry.
closing, just a couple of questions that I have here. Okay, you talk about the different options in the market because uh, you left it by the end, so I didn't know if you were going to mention them, but it was nice. Yeah, about the EMS files that, well, I don't like EMS files. Yeah, about just one question about application signing. That's a quite interesting topic. Actually, well, you could do just another presentation just about that. But one question about signing.
Yeah.
What's the cost? What's the cost to get a digital signature to sign your application? Do you know? Did you guess or?
I actually didn't look for it. I didn't think of it.
Okay, actually signing your application, you need to sign your application always,
I
always.
mean, it's advisable to do so because that's the way you can prove to the ones that are going to download your code, like your software, sorry, that as I said, it's not tampered, it's not piracy. It's like a way to show you that this is the this is what it is, and it will work, and it's like verifying. Like I don't know how to explain it better. I'm sorry.
Actually, if you want to publish anything
Yes,
on the
I mean
different
you publish. Yeah.
on the different stores that are available, like Steam, PlayStation, Google
Yeah.
Play, Apple Store, you always need to sign your application.
I was
Always.
talking more in the concept of like
To sign.
like in our development environment, like we are developing things but we are not signing them. So like it's not for me in my mind. I thought that you don't have to always sign it, but of course if you're going to publish and more, if you're going to get money from it, you have to you have to sign it for sure. And mostly if there are other people that are not related to your code, like if someone is going to put the face and say, yeah, your code works, they need also proof that you are going to, you are verifying that your code works. So yeah, they are going to ask that for sure. Does that makes more sense now? That's what I was thinking. Or
Uh, what do you think is the cost of signing your application?
I don't know, but that's the thing. I didn't think of it. Like, of course, it has a cost, but I don't know.
If you want to publish your game in the different available markets, you have to pay. Probably you know about that. Usually the base fee is about $100 or €100. Actually,
Mm.
that's the base. But actually, if you want to sign an application, it could go up to several thousand euros to get a digital signature.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get a signature for probably under 200 euros, but yeah, it could cost you up to several thousand euros.
Does
The
it depend
digital
on the scope of the
signature.
project or the app that you are?
It depends on lots of things, but usually what increases the price of the digital signature, at least in applications, in desktop applications, it's some kind of assurance that you put into the signature in case that your software breaks some computer in the user machine.
Mm, okay.
So it's kind of, there are different levels of protection for your software. That's the point. And depending on the protection level you want, you pay more or less.
Okay.
Mark is asking about, it's a one-time signature, or once you have it, you can use it forever. It depends. It depends. You have different options also, Mark. So it can be one-time signature per developer. That's usually in video games, in some markets, but it can also be one signature by application, and it can also be one signature by application by version. So if you want to do things in a professional way, you have to put a lot of money, always, lot of money. And well, it was just a point to comment, and just one last detail.
Mm-hmm.
The Nursoft script table installer.
Yep.
Do you know the origin of that tool, the NC's origin? Do you have an idea? Can you guess?
I mean, I know it was developed to create um, installers in Windows, but I don't know why they wanted to design.
Actually, it was created by a very small company in the
Oh, no,
90s.
yes, it was by Solari. Solari is open source, wasn't it? And then they upgraded it.
No, I think
No,
no. Actually, the creators or NCs were the creators of Winamp. Winamp,
I don't know it.
NCs, Wikipedia, maybe. No, it was of course no. Wikipedia.
Ah, Winamp. Okay, I will do it.
Winamp. No, Winamp. AMP. Winamp. Oh,
Wait,
Win.
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
maybe I can share my screen because I want to show a couple of things.
So by Nulsoft, is it this?
No,
Huh?
I I can't see anything. I think your screen is frozen. Could be.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, Winamp. That's it. That's it.
Okay.
Oh
Sorry, no, I
yeah, Winamp. Do you know that tool?
no, I didn't know. I mean, I saw that icon while I was doing the research, but I didn't give it a second thought.
Okay, Winamp was a media player, a small player that actually it's amazing. And yeah, it was created by a company called Nullsoft. You see, Nullsoft,
Mhm. Yes. Sure.
and they are the creators of NCs. It's probably the best audio player that has ever existed.
Well, Nullsoft is really famous, so
Actually, maybe not now, but it was super famous in the 90s and the beginning of 2000s. Yeah, it was super famous. It was kind of the standard audio player in that time. Everybody used it. It was only like 5 megabytes at the time. Yeah, and well, now the software was bought by another company. Well, there are a lot of history behind it. But well, the point is that they created the NCS installer. Oh, here you have Nullsoft. In later years, their open source installer system, the Nullsoft Stable install system. That's it. Yeah, that's it. There was another point to comment, but we don't have many time. Yeah, can you let me share the screen, please?
yes. Do I have to? Sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I had to. I don't know
No,
how
no,
this works. Sorry.
don't worry. Wait. So, okay, can you see that? Okay. Yeah, here it was just two things to comment. Well, I actually want to comment several things about your projects, but I'll do that tomorrow because we are running out of time. So I cannot comment it right now because there are a lot of things to comment. But I comment it by tomorrow. Yes. Okay. First, a list of installation software. Actually, there is not a lot of installation software in the market. Actually, tools to create installers are just a bunch of them. So maybe there are 20 or 30 of them. That's nothing compared with other softwares in the market. But yeah, right back, it's not mine. Yeah, it's from a German company, it seems. I didn't know about that one actually. Uh, yeah, if you check, there are not many free options in the market, and the best ones are InnoSetup, yeah, Nullsoft, the one that we have use and sees, yeah. And well, and the Wix, because it's quite popular also. But yeah, that's it. So there are not many options in the market. Most of the options are paid options. So yeah, it's quite good to, well, obviously Mac includes an installer by default. Yeah, and it's quite interesting to see that there are not many Linux installers also. Yeah, well, a question for everyone. What about a custom installer? What do you think? What about creating a custom installer? Do you think it's a good idea, bad idea? Is it possible? Easy, difficult? How to track that from a coding point of view? Not crazy enough? Very good, Adrian. Must be difficult, Victor. The installer itself, yeah, that's it, Nuria. The installer itself, like NCS or Inno, yeah. If there are few options. It probably isn't cost effective. Well, who knows? Maybe you want to create the perfect interface for your installer. You see that most installers look the same, and well, they are not very original in from a designer point of view in kind of UI and graphics. It's possible. Yeah, of course it's possible. I need to get informed. Yeah. There are a lot of games that have really nice installers. Do you have some idea of how to do that? Can you guess? Can you think about that? Yeah, maybe, but what about if someday you go into a company, Victor, and you have to code the installer for the game? It could happen. Any idea on how to do that from a technical point of view? I mean, I've done that. I've done that. So I know how to do that. Ideas, people is writing. Well, Victor. Yeah, that's an option, Victor. Actually, it's a quite common option today to have the installers just download the game from the internet. Uh, you only learn how to write and read from TXT file, not binary files. Really? Really? Only TXT. Can't believe that. about POW, I guess it's similar. Yeah, actually, it's quite similar reading a TXT file than reading a binary file. It's kind of the same to some extent. Something similar to how we use GitHub Actions. Nah, not really. I give you some tips. Actually, the most difficult part on that is embedding, listen up, embedding all the files into an executable. So you have to create a program that contains all the files that you want to later on decompress, right? Yeah, actually, it's not that complicated. Actually, it's not. But anyway, did you understand what I said? Probably the most tricky part is embedding the files into your code to generate the executable, right? Embedding the files into your code to create an executable. So you create an executable file that contains all the files that later on you want to extract into individual files. Are you following me? Or is that too advanced? Okay. So, okay, that's it. Wow. So how to do that? Actually, there is a small tool that can do that for you in a very, 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 very easy way. I was just going to show you in case in a future you have to deal with that kind of things. Okay. Here, there is a small free tool, IncBin, include binary files in C, C++. Very easy, actually. IncBin, that's the code, include binary files in your C, C++. You do that, include in your code, that's in your code. So you create a program like if it was a game, but actually the program itself will be the installer, right? And you use that in bin, the file that you want to include, in bin extern icon. That's it. What are you getting with that? Inside your executable, you will get included that file, icon.png. Yeah, that's it. If you look at that, you will see that it's extremely simple. Yeah, that's it, Pau. So that's it. In release mode or debug mode, the executable will be the installer. That's it. It will include all the files that you decided to include, just one after the other. And then here you can see an example how to access later on those files. Yeah, that's it. So look at that. You just include in bin, and all the files should be in the same folder. Then your program, you have all the files, those 3 files, you see. And here you're including those 3 files inside your executable. Yeah? And then here you got automatic variables created for you. Yeah, it's so short and so simple, Mark. you get automatically created those variables, kilorem size, so it's the name you gave to the file with the extension size. Also the same for data, you see. And yeah, that's it. You already got the data and the size of the file. So it's quite trivial to, at the moment you want, just generate those files in the computer again. That would be the process of installing the files. What do you mean, Pau? You only have to include that header and that and those included for all the files you want. Actually, it's pretty easy. Oh, if you want to do that yourself, well, in Bean, here you have the code. It's an open source project. So here you open the file. Okay. That's the full code. It seems quite long, but actually it's quite short. In any case, Pau, creating yourself that ink bean mechanism. No, it's not complicated. I don't use ink bean. I do it myself. It's just a function. The function only has to read the file array of bytes and store it as an array. That's it. Oh, the GitHub. Yeah, I can share that. Sorry. Yeah. It's pretty easy, Pau. I mean, using InkBean, it's way easier, but actually, it just it's easy, really. You only have to convert the file into an array of bytes and embed that in the code. That's it. Well, okay, maybe it's not that easy, but it's not the most complicated things that you can do in programming at all. Okay, so we have to stop it now because Fran just let us know that we only have 1 minute left. Probably we don't have that minute yet, but left because, well, never mind. Tomorrow we will continue. Tomorrow I do the reviews of your projects because I saw some ugly things in the repos. And yeah, that's it. Okay. Tomorrow we have 2 hours for doubts and questions and other things. Yeah. You will have Guillem. You will have that. Yeah. If you want me to explain something tomorrow, as I told you last week, just think about some field and maybe I can explain something on the go. Or if you have questions, yeah, I can try to answer. Yeah. Okay, that's it. Let's just stop it here today. Just claps for Nuria because it was a very good presentation. And yeah, see you tomorrow then. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye, 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 bye.